Okay. Oh, we are live. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Dante here. Oh, what's going on? There we go. Why can't I get to the video? There we go. We'll be started in just a moment. Fiddling with things.
Yeah, it seems like you're live now.
Yes, we are live now. How do I get back to the... Just in case anyone else joins, I switched the host. Um, Someone else has the link. So, yeah, welcome everybody to the weekly live stream. I'm Dante. I channel the Pleiadian Council. Most people are probably familiar with these sessions, so I won't say too much other than hope you enjoy it. And for now, we're still doing this weekly. Now, donation or energy exchange is asked to join the live streams and ask your personal questions to really get the highest quality content and the support me in these streams and cover the costs. I really appreciate those who join, and you can send me an email or contact me on social media about joining the streams. Stay tuned for the updates as to when they're going to be happening because I'm in a bit of a travel transition right now. I am not as much, or I'm not going on a consistent day, like every day. Every week it's Thursday, every week it's this. I'm aiming for Thursdays, honestly, but things are a little bit up in the air. Um, so the there will be more free open streams that happen, and the next one will take place in the beginning of May. So I'm not completely done offering those, um, but there will only be about 8 of them a year. So the best way to stay in touch about all of those things is to check out the website and sign up for the email list. And just share briefly. Um, so here on DanteStarshine.com, you can enter your email address. Well, I didn't type mine, but you get the point. Sign up for the email address, and you can become informed as to when these live stream sessions are happening and when other things might be happening as well. There's the guidebooks Living Love on Earth. If you haven't already read that book and got the book, it's a way to dive deep into the teachings of the Pleiadian Council. And the channeling course is enrolling for May. Ignore the 2023 thing. It's actually happening in, I guess, that's almost a month. So if you would like to join and become a part of that, find more information there, send me an email. I do consultation calls, and there's also discounts for those who've already joined the program who wants to join a second time. There's always new information. We always go a little bit deeper. So I'm excited for this next program. And there's a lot of videos and information you can check out on that page. So now we will start the live stream, or we will start channeling. And you can also type your questions into the chat box on YouTube, and we'll pick the best of the best questions to be included in the session. If you want to dive deeper into your personal reflections, it's much easier done when you join the streams or when you get a personal session. So try to write your questions in a way that we can understand what's happening and don't need to, I'm saying, yeah, sometimes too many personal details don't bring the best questions when it's just in written format, is what I'm trying to explain. But we'll do the best with what we've got. So yeah, I'm going to start channeling. I think that's going to make things flow better. Enjoy, and I'll see you on the other side. Hello, and we say good day to you at this moment of your time. We are the Pleiadian Council, and we thank you for allowing this transmission to take place. It is a gift and a blessing for us to be able to contact you and open up to this transmission, as it allows for us to get to experience your reality and for us to exchange energies together, allowing you and ourselves alike to deepen on our connection with Source. And for this, we are deeply appreciative. Today, we share a message with you we titled Strengthening Your Intuitive Reflexes. And the idea here is about how you can be in a state of constant intuition, constant inner knowing, constant connection with the sense that you are in the right place at the right time. And primarily, this comes from a remembrance. It is the remembrance of Source. It is the remembrance that all is one and you are that one. And it is the remembrance that in this interconnected universe, you could never be in the wrong place at the wrong time. You are exactly where you need to be. It's always the right place and always the right time. Sometimes you feel that more. And you feel it more because you've come into a deeper state of connection and alignment with your own higher self and the Source. This happens through listening to your heart's guidance. What calls to you more than anything else in your heart? When you follow the formula of acting on your passion to the best of your ability without insisting on an outcome, you are in that deepest level of Source connection, and you will find that you can remember, I'm in the right place, it's the right time, and everything is connected. When you don't choose what excites you, sometimes you forget and you doubt, you wonder, you fear as if something is off. And this happens generally because you are either not really choosing what you're passionate about, or it happens because you're insisting on what you think has to happen. And opening yourself to the potential lessons and gifts in circumstances that you don't prefer allows you to remember you're exactly where you need to be, even in moments that it does not feel that way initially. Now, when you respond to that feeling in your heart, that inner sense that you need to act and do a particular thing, as soon as the impulse arises, as soon as that feeling says it is time to do this, then you will find yourself in a state of synchronistic flow where that feeling that this is the right thing to do leads to the next moment, and you'll be instructed that the next step is the right step to take, and so on. But if you delay yourself, if you don't listen to that inkling in your heart right away, sometimes the process is drawn out, and sometimes you even miss opportunities, and you have to loop back around and find a new way to reach the opportunity that was just presented to you in the flow. This is why it's so important that you come to be in touch with that impulse of your heart, that yearning of your heart that is your truest passion and excitement. This reflex to act upon what your heart guides you to becomes more natural the more you do it. And that is the way that you strengthen your intuitive responses. Though, what causes you to slow down the process and not act on your passion is your own doubts. And it is actually removing your doubt, removing your hesitation, and the fear-based beliefs that cause it, that will bring you to respond in the quickest way. So really, strengthening your intuitive reflexes has far more to do with getting the beliefs that cause hesitation out of the way. So you may want to take inventory. What fears are present in my being that might cause me to feel as if this is unsafe for me, that my passion is unsafe, that my joy is unsafe? What beliefs alive within me cause me to fear spontaneity? As so often, this calling of your heart comes through in a very spontaneous way. What beliefs within me cause me to prioritize things that do not lift my heart into elevated frequencies, rather than doing those things I know resonate in my heart? If you can get those belief systems and choose what excites you, your ability to stay in that flow and listen and respond to when your heart calls you in any direction will become much more magnified and profound. Your other aspects of intuition, like psychic sensing, seeing, hearing, information that is beyond your normal senses, but can be perceived through psychic realms and inner realms, magnified by your connection to your higher self and to your passion. The more you live in that heart-connected, spontaneous way, allowing your inner feeling of passion to guide all of your actions, the more these psychic senses will come online. To deepen into intuitive and psychic senses, you have to practice and you have to work with them every day. And the best way that we would suggest all of you to do this is with meditation and journeying states that allow you to explore these other realms. Guided meditation, visualization, dream work, shamanic journeying, and many other tools are all building this ability to work with your psychic senses. It is different than many of the meditations that some of you will practice, and it is not to say that it is better, because both of these styles of meditation strengthen different parts of you. When you practice something like a body scanning meditation or an awareness meditation, that this will work on your ability to focus and work on your ability to have a grip on your own nervous system. It works with your ability to have a more subtle awareness of all that moves through your being. And this carries over into these more intuitive types of meditations. Though Nonetheless, these intuitive types of meditations, including visualization and activation of your psychic senses, are what leads you to develop psychic gifts. So every day, practice them. Even if it's just for 10 or 15 minutes, even if it's just before you go to bed, that will do. That's enough for you to continually expand these gifts. And you also have to work with the gifts that work for you. Sometimes people will want so much to experience and visions, but this might be their weakest psychic sense. So for them to have a deepening into their psychic senses, they have to come to appreciate the psychic senses that they already have going. And this means if your hearing or your clairaudience is the strongest psychic sense that you have, sort of meditation or psychic development tool that helps you to dial into this ability to hear messages, tones coming to you from your higher self and from your guide. Actually, it's important to note that some people have a sort of psychic blindness or deafness. Some people have a very hard time to visualize anything at all, while others have a very difficult time to hear anything at all. It might not just be difficult, but sometimes it's impossible. And this does not mean that anything is wrong or broken with anyone. It's simply a different way of processing information and energy. And much like the physical experiences of blindness or deafness, when one of your psychic senses are blocked, it does mean that some of your other psychic senses might be more powerful and more tuned in than others. Somebody who cannot experience inner visions in the same way might have the ability to be very fine-tuned in their audio perception, their perception of messages. Or perhaps they are very attuned at psychic feeling or sensing, and they simply know the information they need to know. Everybody's own intuition works in their own way. And many people struggle to build confidence in their intuitive gifts because they compare themselves to other people, and they think that their gifts must work in the same way. And you must understand that your gifts are your own. Your ability to tune into these subtle energies is uniquely yours, and you must approach it in your own way. And this means adjusting any techniques and teachings so that they suit your own experience. And this is also something that will happen naturally and intuitively and ought to be applied to every area of your life. This is also some reason that people might not find as if they are as excited and tuned in as they could be. They might be judging their own experience and comparing it to others, putting limitations on themselves that don't necessarily need to be there. Live your life your own way. Live your passion your own way. Let your passion be uniquely yours. And by trusting your own experience, intuition becomes your predominant state. And that does not mean that you will never encounter a blockage, but it does mean that you will get better and better at clearing them out, knowing where they come from and developing the tools to challenge and undo the misperception caused by your own limiting beliefs. We thank you very much for allowing us to share this with you now, and we ask in which ways can we be of service to you with your questions, comments, musings, and any other sort of inquiry that you would like to share at this time.
Thank you so much. Let us see if there is any questions on Zoom right now. Otherwise, there's a couple of written questions on YouTube.
All right.
All right, so there's a question from YouTube. It says, does the eclipse have anything to do with the curtain being lifted on corruption? There seems to be a lot of upheaval in the music industry right now with sex trafficking. And is that part of the new energies? Can you comment on this? Thank you.
There is indeed some relation, you could say, astrologically, as the South Node connects with Libra at this time. This planet connected, or this sign rather, connected with Venus, does tap into the idea of art, beauty, entertainment. And so there's a relief and there's a uncovering of something that is affecting that area. Yes. Eclipses in general shed light on what is hidden. They reveal what is not yet understood. They bring to the surface buried emotions. And why eclipses can be so challenging is because they are bringing you to look beneath the surface at the beliefs and aspects of your own consciousness that you have not yet faced clearly and integrated. This happens on personal and collective levels. On your collective, there is shocking degrees of corruption, and you will continue to expose this. Though it's only shocking to those who have not learned that the entire systems that have built your world and entertained you and so on are at their core deeply corrupt. And the more you accept this, the less it will be shocking, and the more you will be able to use this information to create new ways of being in your world.
Okay, very cool. I'm also curious now, a little bit also in my own interest, since I'm going into the music business. Is there something to be aware of in terms of an industry where we realize there's a lot of corruption in terms of either trying to break through into an industry like that, or is it better to avoid it completely, whether it's the music industry or other industries that have corruptions in them?
An industry or anything of that nature can only be transformed by people bringing different energy into it. So the transformation of many aspects of your society will happen by those with positive intention, bringing their light and their clarity and their love into these different fields. So consider that as part of the role that you and others will play in all that you do. You may encounter corruption. That is the nature of your world. You may encounter distortion, such as the nature of your world. Though it is the role of those choosing ascension and awakening and transformation into a world that is based in love to be willing to face these energies head on and offer clarity.
All right, very, very powerful question. Sorry, answer. Thank you so much. There's another question about nostalgia, which is there a way to utilize the energy of nostalgia, or is it something to be wary of or avoid altogether?
Nostalgia in its own right is something that can be used in a positive or a negative way. The questioner, we sense, is weary of nostalgia because of experiences of attachment to the past that sometimes are associated with nostalgia itself. You don't have to be attached to an experience to enjoy the memory of it. And so nostalgia can be used in a positive way when you connect with the feelings of love, pleasure, connection, harmony that were once experienced. And you bring those experiences into the present moment. Sometimes you need to reflect upon the past to gain clarity as to how to recreate the vibration that you prefer. And there is also an issue in the way that some people attempt to do this. Remember, you are recreating a vibration you prefer. You cannot recreate the exact scenario because everything has changed from that moment to now. You're in a completely different new reality. So all attempts to recreate experiences bring in that energy of attachment to outcomes. And in this way, they cloud the experience of the present moment reality and diminish the passion and source connection that could be. Allow yourself to recreate that vibration in a new way. When you remember the past, focus on the way that it felt and bring that feeling into the present moment and seek to recreate that feeling, but nonetheless at the same time let go of all of the details and all of the participants that made up that past experience.
Wow, some really cool distinctions there. Thank you so much. I
Yes.
believe we have a question on Zoom.
I would like to ask, if I may.
Yes.
Hello, Pleiadian Council.
Hello.
I would like to ask regarding the theme of this transmission is that when I'm doing the decision, I'm doing it from the mind level every time. That's correct, right? From the ego. And
well, you can't take your mind out of the equation. The question is your mind listening to your heart? Is your mind guided by your heart, or is your mind guided instead entirely by belief systems?
Yes, that's what I mean. That
all right.
The point is to invite more intuition, into my decision process.
All right.
And to become more sensitive to my intuition. Okay, good. That makes clear to me. Okay. And another question is, how do I, or what's the difference between dopamine rush and heart yearning?
What was the first thing?
Dopamine rush and heart yearning.
We still didn't get that. Heart yearning and what?
Dopamine rush. You have too much dopamine in your blood.
Is it dopamine?
Dopamine, yes.
Dopamine rush. Oh, yes. Well, your heart may be guided to things that produce dopamine. That is natural, really. Dopamine helps you to regulate. Anything that you enjoy very much will give you some dopamine. The question is instead, is this really good for me in the long term? Dopamine becomes an issue with things that are very addictive. When you get so much pleasure from them that you become less motivated to do anything else. And generally speaking, your heart knows that this is happening. Your heart knows that to spend hours and hours doing the same activity is not really carrying you into that flow of love. So we would encourage you to accept the idea of needing dopamine. It can be useful to detox and retreat for some period of time, but know that your brain lives on dopamine. The question is, do I feel my heart in the process? Sometimes when you first start an activity, your heart is in the process. But naturally, you are more inclined to move from one activity to a different activity after periods of time so that your body can adjust and meet all of its needs. Anything that you can spend hours and hours doing without feeling the inclination towards taking a break is probably not good for you. So don't judge yourself. Instead, make it a routine practice to draw your awareness back into your heart. And ask yourself during whatever you're doing the question, am I deep in my heart and guided by my passion in this moment? And if the answer is no, take time to stop. Being guided by your passion does include the idea of taking time to reflect and go inward and understand what your passion is. With that awareness focused in your heart, you will know what you're passionate about and what you're not.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you very much. That was very interesting.
Yes.
And and in the case I'm doing some mundane activity like cleaning and making money and stuff like that. What questions should I ask during these activities?
How can I make what I'm doing more fun? How can I make this something that ignites my passion? And there are many ways of doing it. For example, you can bring a playful quality into what you're doing. And this playful quality emerges naturally when you remember that this whole existence is like a play. It is like a game that Source is playing through all of you. And you are simultaneously the Source playing the game while forgetting that you are both the player and the game itself. When you play with this understanding and you see the big picture, you start to take life a little bit less seriously and experience it as more fun. Until this dawns on you, there's many things that you can do. You can whistle while you work, or sing while you work. Or if you don't want to make the music yourself, then you can certainly listen to the music. You can enjoy the way that your mind can wander as you do mundane tasks. You don't need all of your mental focus to sweep the floor and do the dishes. Your mind is still an active playground at that time. So what are you focusing on? When you are not busy with your mind, you ought to focus your mind on things that you're genuinely and truly excited about. And if you don't have anything you're excited about, bring your awareness back to your heart. And focusing here and letting your awareness rest there will naturally give rise to things that lift you into higher frequencies of excitement, passion, love, and joy.
Wow, interesting, very, very interesting. Thank you very much.
Oh, yes, thanks you as
I would
well.
like to have
Yes,
2 more
yes,
questions
yes. All right.
regarding health issues.
All right.
What would be the mental reason for knee pain? Knee pain.
Knee, at the purely mental level, relates to feeling of difficulty moving forward. When you feel as if you cannot cross a certain threshold or move past a certain obstacle, the knee will start to hurt. It can also represent a sense of inflexibility. There's often fear associated with this sense that one can't move past an obstacle. A fear that I will lose out, or I will not have enough, or I will not be supported. So in order to move through this, you have to open and become more flexible. Open your ideas, open your definitions, and come into a greater state of awareness of multiple possibilities and multiple ways of doing things. Create a sense of being more genuinely supported in walking forward. That might mean reaching out to others for support or developing better systems to support yourself.
Okay, and what about eye difficulties like glaucoma and cataract? What's the mental reason for these two?
The eye is connected with seeing, and so eye issues can be not seeing clearly on a metaphorical level. Are you not seeing certain situations as clearly as you ought to? Are you distorting details of the big picture that you ought to really get a clear image of? Are you distorting your own image of yourself or others out of fear of things that you do not want to see? These are all important questions as you work on any challenges with the physical eyes.
Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, great. Thanks to you as well.
Wow, great interaction. We have another question. I'm curious, how can you describe the power and importance of following the formula to someone who isn't spiritual at all?
Well, we'll say as a side that everyone is spiritual because spirit is everything. All is spirit. Someone who doesn't consider themselves spiritual, that's only a matter of their belief systems. But nonetheless, we understand some people do not consider themselves very spiritual, or they are not open to spiritual concepts. Yet you can explain to them the feeling of love, happiness, joy, of satisfaction. Everyone understands this, and everyone understands the experience of losing themselves in the flow. You can point these people to the research regarding flow states. Even science understands and has witnessed that when people get into states of flow, doing things that they love, so much so that they lose track of time and space, and they are fully immersed in what they are doing, that they experience greater mental reward and clarity. They get the reward of what your science calls neuroplasticity, And this is very much connected with your ability to change your belief systems, to change your perspectives, to change your way of seeing situations. So you can explain to these people that in order for anyone to change their way of thinking in a positive way, they first have to be doing things that they love. They have to be connected with their heart. And you can bring them to reflect upon the natural experience of motivation, that when somebody wants to do something, they are naturally motivated to it. When somebody is doing something that they love to do, they don't have to force themselves to have motivation. They simply gravitate towards it. And gaining trust in this experience by witnessing the positive results it brings over time can be very helpful. And absolutely, there is ample evidence for the benefits of flow states.
All right, very, very cool answer. Thank you so much.
We will add one more thing, can we?
Yeah.
Yes. We want to say as well, as for explaining them the part of the formula, that is to have no insistence on a particular outcome. This is absolutely logical, because you can witness without any spiritual ideation that when you become fixated upon something, it causes a feeling of stagnation. It causes a disruption. It causes you to not be open to the present moment and to have very limited perception. We would say that this formula ought to be absolutely self-evident to everybody. So explain it in your own way. And also, as you explain this or any ideas to another person, make sure that you put yourself in their mind, not just their shoes. But as you come to experience more of self-awareness in witnessing how your own mind and your own beliefs shapes the way that you experience reality and interpret all of the ideas that you're introduced to, it must follow that you come to realize how this works for other people as well. So when you have conversations and you want them to go well, make sure that you take into consideration the limitations of what other people are able to see and understand according to their beliefs. Get a sense of what their belief systems are, and don't try to fight with their beliefs, because you cannot win a battle with belief systems. You can gradually deconstruct belief systems by giving the mind evidence of different and more encompassing and positive beliefs.
All right, very cool. I'm just curious. I heard from a very, very cool and actually hard-based marketing expert who talked about, in terms of, instead of trying to convince people to change beliefs, is to add in new definitions or expanding the beliefs they already have. Is that something that correlates with what you were mentioning?
Yes, it is often much easier to let beliefs fall away over time in certain situations. And this is how actually more models are based in your world. The more that you develop positive beliefs, positive attitudes, and positive behaviors, the more power is flowing through those positive structures that you've built. And eventually that will overcome the negative beliefs. To expand upon belief systems one already has is something that can be helpful as well. When you have an inclination towards one way of seeing things, you can slightly adjust that perception by imagining that you're expanding it gradually. This can be a way of working with some people who find they are particularly stubborn.
Okay, very cool. There's a question on YouTube relating to colors, and it says, I feel as if my dreams have been a study of colors lately. I woke up talking to yellow the other day. It feels like a teaching or a class of sorts. Can you comment on this energy?
What do these colors represent to you? The interaction with colors and the personification of them can be understood as a very personal thing, that you're having your own experience of what these colors are. Know that other people might have their own journey with colors and experience them in slightly different ways. We sense that you're having this experience so that you can open up to a greater experience of synesthesia. And this is the ability to experience sensory input with your psychic senses. This is what gives people the ability to taste colors and to see sounds. And this ability can help you to deepen into a greater appreciation for reality. So we would suggest that you use these dreams as a way for you to come to associate other senses with the visual impressions that colors bring. Get a sense of how the colors taste, how they feel, and how they sound, as this will help you in having a more personally enriching experience of your reality. And it might also help you to communicate these poetic nuances to many others.
Very cool. And another YouTube question is, I experience daily telepathy or telepathy for 6 months with a person who is very dear to me, but who won't talk to me in this 3D world. Can you share any insights about the energy behind something like this, or any specifics?
Sometimes you have very deep connections with people even without being in contact with them. And this experience is helping you to more deeply relate with this person and understand where they are coming from, understanding why they act the way they act and why they see things the way they do. There may be a return to relating that happens at a later time. This experience of greater empathy is also helping you to have empathy for all beings in general.
Okay, absolutely cool. And one of the last questions is that you have mentioned before something about the experience of hitting rock bottom. Can you talk about the potential value of that, or if there's a better way to be proactive about it?
Well, if you are aware that you're hitting a rock bottom, you might not be hitting rock bottom. Part of the idea of rock bottom involves a state of denial about the way that certain behaviors are holding you back. And this denial makes it very easy to deny and avoid consequences, up into a point that it is impossible to deny and avoid consequences. That is a rock bottom that leads to illumination, and the beliefs and behaviors that one was denying has to become accepted, and one has to become honest in their expression. This can lead to a personal revolution And it can lead one to experience that sort of slingshot effect in which one pulls themselves back into the darkness on a slingshot and gaining more and more velocity, the more one is pulled back into the darkness. Upon relief, the further one has come back, the further forward one accelerates. So this isn't to say that every time someone hits rock bottom, it is accompanied with this slingshot effect, nor does it mean that every slingshot effect is a rock bottom experience. You might be misinterpreting challenges and setbacks as rock bottom. If you are simply facing many challenges, but you're not truly in denial about your own role in the matter, then we wouldn't call it rock bottom. But again, some of these things are a matter of semantics and definition. If you are worried that you might bottom out, so to speak, and find yourself in a place of being stuck, well, we would first of all say that you're never actually stuck. The earth is moving every moment, rotating thousands of miles. That is not stuck. Your planet does not get stuck, and you're on a moving planet that renews itself every day. You're never stuck. But you sometimes get confused. And actually, when you have no idea what to do, it's often better to do nothing until a point that you are absolutely centered in your heart and absolutely sure about which path is the heart-centered path to take and how to embark upon it. So these moments of challenge or lack can be ways that you learn how to develop that deeper connection with your heart and come to know what your heart's guidance is. Sometimes these experiences of getting seemingly stuck are what is actually required so that you can return to a heart-centered focus and let that guide you.
All right, very, very cool. Thank you so much. There's a question on YouTube, and I'm not sure if I'm going to ask it in the precise way, but let's see what happens. The question is, can you talk about fifth dimensional chakras? How are they changing? I have a very small first chakra. What does this mean? And I ground every day and connect to trees and plants. How can we connect to the energies of the land?
You have a very small what chakra?
First chakra.
Oh, all right. Well, we will say that the chakras are already existing in every dimension. All of the chakras are already connected to the fifth dimension and beyond. Just because they are connected to these dimensions doesn't mean you are aware of them. You can be connected and present in many dimensions without being aware of them. So we will say this in relation to the idea of ascension that many of you relate to, that ascension is not going somewhere beyond, it is expanding your awareness to encompass the you that has always been beyond already. That clarity will help many of you. You don't have to push to go beyond. You don't even have to push to expand. You just have to realize who you are, and you will remember the natural expanded myth that is your nature. In terms of having smaller or less profound chakras, that has to do with directing energy away from certain areas and focusing more on other chakras, for example. So having less energy in the root chakra can be the result of having too much energy in somewhere like the crown chakra or the third eye chakra. When you send all of your energy to the upper chakras, naturally the lower chakras will start to lose out on energy. Now, this isn't just a spiritual thing. Many who start to become very interested in psychic and spiritual phenomena will go through this experience in which their energy body becomes very top heavy. They direct all of their energy to their upper chakras, and their lower chakras will be drained of energy as a result. But this isn't just the spiritual phenomena, it is actually the nature of your world. By keeping you very focused on images on screens that you look at with your eyes, and words that you read, and ideas in your head, and concepts and stories, and routine, not and protocols, and all of these different ways that you conceptually experience yourselves, your world has you very focused on living in the head. And so naturally, most people do not have the same sense of deeper connection with their lower chakras. And you must energetically focus upon putting your feet on the ground and getting yourself into your body. Spending time in nature is very helpful, though the lower chakras get the most activation and healing from exercise, healthy diet, and harmonious relationships with other humans. How do you connect with nature? In brief, we will answer that you're always connected with nature. It's the same as asking, how do I connect with Source? Realize that you're always connected with Source because you are Source. How do you connect with nature? You're a part of nature. Undo the belief systems and the conditioning that says that you're not. And immerse yourself in natural environments and take it in with your senses. Feel the sunlight, smell the smells, behold the beauty, and take in all of this information as a pure and uplifting energy. Because it is, and it ought to be, an energizing experience simply to behold the natural beauty around you.
Very cool. Can you check in with the channel? It seemed like he had a deadline today.
All right, we can maybe have one final question, perhaps, if that is in the cards.
Yeah, well, it might be. I have a follow-up question because one thing I've learned from a woman called Donna Eden, who created something called energy medicine, was two different ways of working with the chakras, and I would love your feedback on it. One is to spin counterclockwise with the left hand, the palm of the hand, in order to take negative energy out, and then use the right hand spinning clockwise in order to energize the chakras. Is that something you would recommend, or is that the time worth?
Yes,
in terms of...
That's a great permission slip, though recognize it as just that. It is a permission slip. So there's many other ways that you can remove energy that you do not prefer to have and add or balance energy. And everybody will have their own permission slips that they resonate with. But this is absolutely a permission slip that will work if it aligns with your beliefs.
Okay, beautiful. And then the last thing, there was a question on YouTube. Do other mammals have the same chakra systems that we do?
Yes.
Okay, beautiful.
At the core, these chakras are the same system, but the way that the chakras function is different according to each species.
All right, cool. Then I'm just going to say on behalf of everybody, thank you so much for your guidance and answers, and we really appreciate this co-creation, and look forward to next time.
All right, thanks, and our unconditional love to all of you as well. We thank you for coming together and for co-creating this interaction and allowing this energy to be shared with your world. It is a gift for us to be able to share with you in this way, and we wish you a fantastic rest of your day then. All right, great.
Cool, Dante.
Thanks. Yeah.
Thank you, Dante.
Thank you. Thanks everybody for being here today. It was a really beautiful session. I actually forgot to mention, I wanted to share in the beginning that there's actually a whole another YouTube channel now, the Pleiadian Perspective, which is like a podcast that I am creating with Mahalo, who some of you might have met in some of the other Zoom sessions as well. So if you are in the YouTube chat box, you can see the link to that. It's like the very first thing. See, now it's like the YouTube chat box is here. You can see it. Click that link and you get this new channel, and then you can hit the subscribe button, and then you can also do this. I'm turning on all the notifications. Now you really know when there's something new, because if you don't hit that button, you might not get every update. You can do that on DanteStarshine.com or the Dante Starshine channel as well if you want. I really appreciate it. And looks like we had some great questions and interactions today. Good to see all of you there. Yeah. So DanteStarshine.com again has information on my private sessions and the channeling course beginning in May. This is the email where you can get funding, and this is where you can book a session / contact. You get the picture. That's where you can sign up for sessions. So yeah. Thanks again for being here, and hope to see you next week.
By the way, Dante, I just want to mention one thing about the channeling course that I think maybe some people haven't thought of, is that it's really a 2-in-1 course, in the sense that you can get all the value and more. Like, if all you want to do is to work on yourself and get aligned and so on and so forth, and sharpen your intuition and all of that good stuff. And then the other part, obviously, is being able to channel, because, oh my God, we're going to need more who have this ability, or just getting anyone close to. So, like, if one of them is aligning with people and getting them excited, they should absolutely go for it. And maybe the other one is going to, show up and become very relevant down the line, even though it doesn't feel like it right now.
That's a good point. Thanks for saying that. And that's also something that I note to be a little bit different from this program and other channeling courses. Do you need a reason as to why to choose this one instead? Is because a lot of the other channeling courses are teaching you how to channel, and then you're kind of on your own. You make that connection with your guides, and it's trusted that will support you through it. But having worked with channeling and taught some people how to do it, there's still some ways of really refining after you make that connection. And the channeling course that I teach is channeling and intuitive healing. So it's a group program. It lasts over months, and we go really deep into our own personal journeys, and we're clearing a lot of beliefs, clearing a lot of blockages, clearing our past traumas in this program, because we need to go through that in our own way so that we can help other people deepen into that as well. Like, we can't help people heal something that we haven't healed something similar. Obviously, everyone has their own story and journey, but nonetheless, we have to be able to relate in order to guide them through it. We have to know the territory, and we learn about that territory in ourselves. And there's always a deeper level of healing and self-knowledge that we can access. So that's what I'm confident the program brings people to access. As I've worked with, I guess, over 40 or 50 people now who've gone really deep into their experience of transforming themselves and getting to know their inner selves, and also having these very visceral experiences of, wow, I just connected inside and I visualized, and it felt like I was imagining something, but all of a sudden I knew so much about this other person who's across the world, and without having much details from them, I gave them information and energy that's changing their lives. And that experience is really affirming. So even if some people go through the program and then they become channels and help others, and others just use this as a gift that helps them be of greater service and have a deeper and richer life. So that's what, that's more about that. And I really hope to hear from you. And I do program consultations. We can talk for a half hour and answer your questions about the program. So send me an email and let me know if you'd like to do that. I'm available for it. And please sign up for the email list. And if you want to join the live stream next week, would love to connect with you then. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Anything else?
No, that was great. I mean, that's one of the things that really stood out for me is the people who were in the program when I started into it. I got that sense, and also people who came in later is that they had that different spark to them because they gone through the process themselves, and some of them had no intention of doing it for others. But I think it's a very powerful thing to be able to do, even though you don't want to do it. It's just like knowing you have that power is very, very. Yeah, it's a good feeling to have.
Absolutely.
And all right,
All right.
yeah, thank you so much, Dante, for doing this. Some really, really cool answers. I am a sucker for this, and I still, search for answers all over the place, and I always enjoy coming back and getting the best ones from you guys, the Pleiadians, and your clear channel that you provide, and we really, really appreciate this.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thanks everyone for being here and for watching. Oh yeah, pressing the like button if you haven't already. We love that. Leave a little comment, share it around. All of these things really help the channel grow. So I appreciate your support as the organic word of mouth sharing of this is really one of the biggest ways that the channel has grown. So I thank you so much again. Blessings, love. Catch you next time.